Hello, this is Cliff Brock with World Travel Plus. We search out the places that the travel brochures and the travel agents don't tell you about so you don't have to. Join us today to see where we've wandered next.
Today we're in San Marino, the smallest republic in the world and the fourth smallest country in the world. It's an interesting little place with a population of only 34,000. Those 34,000 entertain 1 million visitors a year, so it's not really an out-of-the-way place that World Travel Plus usually seeks to find, but you do have a lot of streets that are very deserted and Let's take a look at San Marino. It's only 61 square kilometers, located on the slopes of Mount Tirano in the Apennine Mountains of Italy. It's completely surrounded by Italy, by the way, and has 3 towers of San Marino rising at the top of the ridge. This place is a perfect spot for a picture postcard site of the country. It's a small republic. It claims to be the oldest surviving state in the world. It was founded in the early 4th century AD by a Christian stonemason named Marinus. He fled from religious persecution and founded a community on Mount Tirano, which became San Marino. The country was recognized by the Holy See in 1631 and Napoleon in 1797, so it's been around for a while. It's noted for its medieval castles, low taxes, political neutrality, and it is a very wealthy community. One of the most interesting things about San Marino is the way it's governed. Each 6 months there's a national election, and 2 captains regents are elected by the Grand and General Council. They switch lead roles after 3 months, and then they rule. The only real perk they get is a car, and when they finish their terms, they go back to being ordinary citizens. There really isn't much of a caste system or a hierarchy in San Marino. People are just people. Many Italians flee to San Marino to live because of the low taxes. Their economy is largely based on tourism, $1 million a year. Although, I will say that the streets of San Marino are not packed with tourists the way so much of Europe is today. There are quiet spots where you could just sit quietly and enjoy your surroundings. San Marino also is prominent in banking and manufacturing. Its national symbols include its flag, its coat of arms, which shows the stonemason, the national anthem, and the 3 towers of San Marino, which tower above the country. Guide Andrea Tomagnini is a good source of information about San Marino. One of the most interesting places is the Museo del Tortura, or the Museum of Torture. One interesting site in San Marino is the Museo della Tortura. That's a museum that displays over 100 original and reconstructed instruments of torture from the 16th to the 19th century, and boy, are there a lot of them. The museum aims to document the horrors of intolerance and fanaticism that have led for centuries to human cruelty and suffering. It exhibits various devices. It's got the inquisitorial chair, the Perro del Bacanaro, and the Spanish spider. It's located right in the historic center of San Marino, which, by the way, is a World Historical Heritage Site.
The Perro del Bacanaro was an instrument that was used to punish criminals and heretics, especially artistic ones. It was a kind of flute shaped, inserted in the victim's mouth, screwed from the back, and then tightened with screws. It caused severe pain and sometimes even killed people. Even more diabolical was the Spanish spider. That was developed to mutilate body parts from the flesh, particularly breasts. Women who were accused of adultery were tortured with this device. It was heated until it was white hot and then fixed on the flesh, and the victim was then suspended, which amplified the bleeding and pain and could, and frequently did, result in death. The museum, by the way, is located right in the center of the city, an eminently walkable village, I might add, and it's a World Heritage Site.
No visit to a European city would be complete without visiting the castle. And you could easily make a mistake in San Marino and think that there's a huge castle on the top of Mount Marino. Actually, it's something a little bit different. There are, obviously, ornately crenellated walls and tall towers, and when you look at the castle from a distance, it looks like you're looking at one huge complex. But really, this is a series of defensive structures, and they're located on top of the three peaks to defend the city against invasion. In reality, the San Marino Castle just refers to the 9 provinces of the country, and they're all cumulatively called the Castelli. The most important for those of us who are visiting the city is the Città di San Marino, which is the one that you see in the city, and it's part of the old defensive structure.
But the best thing for a modern visitor may be the views from the castle walls. You look out not only across San Marino, which is obviously a very small country, but you look right into Italy, and the views are simply stunning. There are also a good many hiking trails around the city for the more athletically inclined visitors.
Right in the downtown area is the Cava dei Balestrieri, right in the middle of town. It's an abandoned quarry, but it's been carved out of the solid rock, and it's now utilized by the crossbow team. It's also an outdoor theater. It's got carved walls and cultural events like the Palio of the Old Crossbow, which is a crossbow competition with participants in medieval garb, much like the medieval jousting that's done in many areas in the United States today.
No visit to Italy, or even a country close to and surrounded by Italy, would be complete without a visit to a wine shop, and certainly we made that stop at a local wine stop. But what really got our attention was when we went to lunch and our waiter, Aldo, treated us to a complimentary taste of an Italian treat, a pistachio liqueur. Pistachio Fabrizio, and we got home and discovered that that is available in the United States, and we would heartily recommend it. It was a delight.
Another interesting site to visit while you're in San Marino is the Basilica di San Marino. It's a Catholic church located in the city. It sits on the Piazzale Domis Pievis. That's on the northeastern edge of the city. It's next door to the Church of St. Peter. The present church was built in 1836. It replaced one that dated back in the 7th century. It's built in a neoclassical style. It has a porch of 8 Corinthian columns. And next door in a museum are relics of St. Marino enshrined in the church. It is also, the basilica is also stamped on the 10-cent San Marinese euro coin, which I found sort of interesting. We hope you've enjoyed your visit to San Marino with us. It's not really a hidden gem of Europe with 1 million visitors a year, but it is a place that someone looking for out of the tourist rush can find peace, quiet, joy, quiet places to walk, to sit, to have lunch. A place that World Travel Plus can certainly recommend without hesitation. Join us next time as we look for those hidden gems around the world.